What's up guys, Attila here, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be going over my Frost Vortex build. Its armor set, weapons and armor mods, weapon calibrations, food buffs, and ammo. Now, this is not your average build based on the meta builds like Shrapnel, Surge, or Unstable Bomber. In fact, this is a Frost support build that makes almost all the content a breeze to handle for you as a solo player or in a team. There are not many builds that can fall into a support role, and if you love playing support like I do, you should have a great time in game with this build. Any team you end up in will love you for the additional crowd control. I'm about to show you how this works. So, without any further ado, let's get to it. First, let's go over my stats. With this build, we'll be focused primarily into status and elemental damage. As you can see, I'm sitting at 42.8% status damage bonus and 54.8% elemental. In this case, Frost. In my current mods, I do an additional 12 to elites, 10 to normal. I don't know why boss is in there twice. Anyways, moving on. My primary weapon is the Abyss Glance. You can obtain this from the Wish Machine for 8k star chrome. I'm currently running gold energy style assault rifle calibration with double elemental. Diving deeper into the Abyss Glance, we can look at its weapon features. Hitting enemies 20 times triggers Frost Vortex. Weak spot hits count as 2 hits, and the closer to the center of the Frost Vortex, the higher the Frost Vortex damage up to 200%. The kicker? Frost damage is increased by 30%. Now let's take a look at my weapon mod. Right now, I'm running Vortex Multiplier Talents. I'm going to keep hunting and rolling for gold, elemental, and status, but for now, this will have to do. Moving on to accessories, I'm using a large break, compact reflex sight, folding bipod, and extended rifle magazine. You can find these all over the map, and you can check out Map Genie to find the exact locations of all these accessories. Moving on to my secondary, I'm using the Crisp Vortex Icy Rain with gold SMG assault style double crit rate calibration. Now, the reason I use this is for 2 reasons. One, the Abyss requires 20 shots to trigger a Frost Vortex. The Icy Rain, on the other hand, creates vortexes much quicker due to its ability to trigger vortexes on crit hits. So if we get overwhelmed by adds and I need to CC them faster, I'll switch to this. 2, I have a pretty nifty weapons mod, Frosty Blessings Talents. I use this as a way to heal myself without the need for activators. Moving on to accessories, I prioritize stability because this thing kicks. I'm using forward flash hider, compact reflex sight, tactical combine grip, and the weighted SMG mag. Moving on to my melee, I prefer the long axe, and that's only for one reason. I prep my fights by heavy attacking, and the heavy attacks activate Fortress Warfare, which create an area effect within 2 meter radius that grants allies and yourself heavy armor for 5 seconds with an additional 20% weapons damage. Onto armor, I am currently running a 4-piece shelter set. For the hat, I am running Deviation Expert Talents. I want that extra status damage plus 20%, and the increased fire rate helps. Try and find elemental or status damage on all of the following mods. For the mask, I'm running Obliteration Talents, again prioritizing elemental and status damage. For the Covert Walker shirt, this is the key item for the build, and the reason why is because this is where all the CC comes from. Frost Vortex collapses in the center and keeps pulling in the enemies 120%. For the mod, I'm running a Flame Resonance Talents. For the pants, I'm running Precision Charge, which reads for every 10% weak spot hit, elemental damage increases up to 24%, lasting for 10 seconds. Again, prioritize status and elemental damage. For the gloves, I chose Lone Wolf gloves. Right now I'm running Elemental Overload Resonance. This is a new mod that drops from Prime War bosses. It's actually pretty good. However, I wish I had double elemental. As you can see, they can stack up to 6 or even 10 times. For shoes, I'm using Ruthless Reaper talents. I also switch out between a few other ones, but this one is good for keeping the ads managed because I always have a full magazine. When I run solo, I usually run Covered Advanced. However, when I soloed LEA, I went to Ferocious Charge because I was taking too many hits and killing enemies was easier than not taking damage for 4 seconds. So this could be another option if you run a lot of solo content. Now let's talk about food buffs. My go-to is Shattered Bread. It increases all weapon damage by 25%. It takes regular wheat, deviated aloe, sugar, and corn oil. It's hard to beat. I also stack it with a whimsical drink, which benefits our build immensely because it increases our status damage by 25%. The main ingredient in this is deviated saffron. Another option is honey glazed meat, which is used to increase crit rate by 15% when hitting enemies affected by Frost Vortex. This is more for a full Icy Rain build, not so much for the Abyss Glance. Moving on to ammo, there's two choices: Disintegrated Rifle AP ammo, which deals 10% more damage against targets affected by Frost Vortex, and an increased 15% psi intensity. The other option is that uses plain old gunpowder is just the Tungsten Rifle AP. This increases damage per shot by 15% and psi intensity by 15%. Now, I'm not quite sure which one is better because you get 15% with the regular Tungsten Rifle AP ammo versus only 10% extra frost damage with the Disintegrating. Now for the moment everybody has been waiting for. Let's see the numbers. Take note, this is a support build. This is not one of those big DPS builds like Power Surge or Shrapnel or Unstable Bomber. This is with no deviation, and let's start off with the Fortress Warfare buff. As you can see, I peaked about 25k DPS and about 16k to everybody else. But take note, these test dummies can't move. The real NPCs in the game will gather and you will do a lot more damage. That was also running Ruthless Reaper. Let's switch over to Covered in Advanced. Again, starting off with the Fortress Warfare buff. On mag, we peak at about 22k to the main target and about 12k to the surrounding targets. Now let's do a full rotation with the Deviant and Fortress Warfare. Start off by throwing Jellyfish, Fortress Warfare, and we'll keep going until the Deviant runs out of energy. We end up around 36k DPS and 1.1 mil damage to the primary, around 27k and 850k damage to the surrounding test dummies. Again, remember, these test dummies don't actually get sucked into the vortex and take less damage than NPCs actually would. Oh yeah. I'll end it off with a little bit of a solo run through Securement Silo Theta. It is on easy, but honestly, there's no difference between this and pro mode with this build, especially if you're running with a group. Everything's gonna get sucked in the middle. All the ads will be super easy to handle. If somebody's running an Unstable Bomber, it'll be a breeze. But if you enjoyed watching, really enjoy my build, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. More content to follow. You can also find me on twitch.tv/Attila_. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.